Well, guys, once again, good evening. Welcome to our session. Well, as you know, we continue working today in particular. Well, you have just already finished unit 7. Today we will start unit 8. And well, let's say that the good thing is that we will be working on the general aspect that the unit has to offer. Of course, as usual, we will keep on practicing. We will have different activities while your classmates, let's say, continue taking part of the session. I really hope, guys, that you are doing the activities in the virtual campus. Remember that on Friday, we will be having our exam. And also I will be sharing with you the different parameters to keep in mind, of course, talking about the spoken part that we will have. I guess that is like most of the information that I'm going to share for the moment, of course. So let's start. Well, guys, unit 8, if we have the book, well, not if, now that I'm sure that all of you have the book, we're talking about pages 76 and 77. The title of the unit, like in very general aspects, says social life. So we'll be, let's say, discussing different aspects in terms of how people behave, activities that people usually do, the activities that you guys usually do. So we will be like covering most like of that aspect in very general things. It doesn't let me notice. Okay, in terms of the general components that we will be studying in this unit, we will have, in terms of grammar, we're talking about polite requests, using will and shall for instant responses. You already know how to use them. Maybe will, we have, let's say, a more common perception of using it when we're talking about future. It is not incorrect, of course, just like to add a new use, let's call it new, to what we already know about will. Well, shall is the one like the most common one, talking about requests. In terms of vocabulary, we will be discussing aspects like social behavior, talking about norms and customs, and hopefully, eventually, we will have time to develop the task, give tips on how to behave. So all the aspects that we have in here are about behavior and about our social skills at some point. Well, I'm gonna give like 1 more minute before I take attendance. Well, I'm gonna give this instruction, and while we're doing this activity, I'm going to take attendance. This part that we have in here that I'm gonna present you in a Mentimeter is going to be done, like in a very general way. Here it is. Let me see if I'm sharing the whole screen. Yes. So guys, the first question that we have in the book talks about the following. Look at the activities, tick the things that you sometimes do on a night out with your friends. Of course, we can't, let's say that we do always exactly the same thing. Maybe, I don't think that many people tend to be like that precise or that is strict about the activities that take place on the weekend. But let's say that in very general aspects, which of these activities do you usually do? Notice the context. On a night out with your friends. We're not specifying if it is on the weekend, if it is on a weekday, if it is on holidays. We're talking about a night out, okay? So I have just sent you the link to the chat. I'm gonna give you a couple of minutes for you to have a look at the activities and also think on the activities that you usually do. After this part, well, there are 18 of you. Then we're going to move to, well, I'm going to check attendance first. Okay, so 2 minutes and then we start. Well, 14 answers out of 20. Let's wait for the other 5 of you guys. Hopefully the connection is pretty good. We have like 24 seconds left. We were having like a very general look of what Unit 8 has to offer for these following sessions. Basically talking about social behavior, social skills, and what we do, first of all, for the moment, when we go out at night. The idea was just like to vote, you know. Let's see at the end of the day what your opinion is. This is not the one, just like this. Let me, okay. The winner would be have dinner in a restaurant. 22% of you chose that one, most of you, basically. On second place, let's call it second place, we have go to the cinema. And then third place, it is a kind of tie, go out for a coffee or go to a bar. And of course, I'm pretty sure that you have many more activities to do that we didn't include in here. But once again, we were talking about like in very general terms, what you usually do when you go out with your friends. Okay, guys, now that most of you are here, I'm going to turn my camera off for a moment and I'm going to take attendance. Keep in mind this vocabulary. We will be using it in the following part. Let me open here the file. Okay. Today is the 24th. Andrés Álvarez.
I'm here, teacher.
Okay. Joely Ayala. Let me see. Joely is not here for the moment, maybe. Let's continue. Andrea Vaca.
Present, teacher.
Okay. John Carrero.
Here I am, teacher. Good evening.
Hello. Me salté. Gilbert Cárdenas. Okay, saw him. Gilbert?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, yeah, I'm taking attendance. Let's continue. Brian.
Hi, teacher.
Hello. Stephanie Córdoba.
Present, teacher.
Okay. Silvia Alejandra Durán.
Present, teacher.
Okay. Diana Lisette.
Present, teacher.
Okay. Judy Lisette.
Present, teacher.
Okay. Luisa Fernanda Paredes.
Present, teacher.
Okay. Luisa Fernanda Pérez.
Present, teacher.
Okay. Jordan Alexis.
Present, teacher.
Okay. Mayra Juliet.
Present, teacher.
María Pinzón, vaga la consideración. Bueno, por el Juliet no hay problema. Mayra Alejandra Plata.
Present, teacher.
Ok. Alejandra Roballo. Not here for the moment. Harold David.
Present.
Ok. Angélica Stephanie.
Present, teacher.
Ok. The chat. Yes, Mayra, could hear you. I did. Daniela Fernanda.
Present, teacher.
Very good. Ana María.
Hi, teacher.
Ariana. Jennifer Jimena.
Here, teacher.
Very good. Natalie Joanna.
Here, teacher.
Great. And Christian Joseph.
Here, teacher.
There it is. Good. Okay, so just to confirm, the person who is absent is Alejandra Roballo and Andrea Vaca. Andrea, you're here.
Sure, I say present.
You said present. Yes, sorry. Yeah, you did, sir. That is why I always have to double check to make sure that I don't make the mistake, even though I make the mistake. Once I did with Mayra, but those things happen. The good thing is that if there is something to be corrected, we correct it. Let's go back. I think I don't need this anymore. Okay, so we were starting, let's say with this part, we were talking about which activity do you usually do? Talking about on a night out, the context was related to that, let's say, moment in particular. And let's say we have this vocabulary. Of course, we have other activities in mind. Let's move to the book that is page 76. Oh my God, I'm so tired tonight. Let's have a look at these 4 questions that we have in here. And of course, you need to expand with your opinion, not only with the, let's say, expressions that we have just got from the previous activity, but the one that we did at the beginning some minutes ago. Well, of course, I don't mean, or I don't want you to feel that I'm interfering or that I want to know details of your personal life. It is just for the development of the activity. Of course, you share what you want to share. I always like to clarify that first. I want to ask 2 people. The first question, it says, what do you do on a typical Friday or Saturday night out? I would like to ask Natalie.
I'm typical at Friday night, maybe stay with my friends at night before after university, or only sleep.
After, if you are tired, that's probably the most common activity for all of us, I dare to say, although probably you are way too younger than me. Thank you, Natalie. What about, let me see. Harold, what about you? What do you do on a typical Friday, Saturday night out? Harold? And it looks like Harold is not here anymore. What did I do? So I'm going to ask Gilbert.
Yes, teacher.
The first question that we have in here, it says, what do you do on a typical Friday, Saturday night out?
Okay, maybe go to quite a play or something like that to discotecas and to the disc is in English, I think so.
Could you
So,
repeat? I think that your volume is pretty low.
okay, what about now?
Better, way
Okay,
better.
so night out, maybe go to that typical place here in Bucaramanga that is quite a play.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe go to dance in that places or drink something like, drink beers, things like that.
Okay, let's say that the usual for you, of course. Okay,
Sometimes.
Gilbert.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't want to get very personal with this type of question. Let's have a look at the second one. What would you do on your ideal night out? Like for you, like every single, let's say, activity that would happen on that night would be like the perfect one. Luisa Fernanda Paredes.
Teacher, I have a bad connection. Can you repeat the question?
Sure, Lisa, don't worry. I'm asking you the second one. What would you do on your ideal night out?
I think that hanging on with my friends, go to try a new restaurant, maybe eat
Mhm.
my favorite food, and with my besties or my best friends, and maybe later go to dancing.
Go
Maybe.
dancing?
Yeah,
Okay,
I like dancing, so maybe.
okay. Great, Luisa. That's your perfect night out. John, what about you? What will be your ideal night out?
Sorry. Hello. Can you hear me?
Hello. Mm-hmm.
Sorry, what was your question?
The same that I asked Luisa. What would you do on your ideal
Okay.
night out?
My ideal night out. So, well, I really love eating out, maybe in a restaurant, spending time with my friends, or why not with my family, and that's it. So I don't really like going dance like on a disco
Going
or
dancing?
yes, going dancing. Sorry. I don't really like to go dancing in a disco or going or to go drinking with a friends or something like that. I just really like eating out. That's it.
Okay. Thank you, John. Of course, a different perspective. Well, somehow I can assume that most of you are on your 20s, right? So which activities are the most popular with young people in your country? I'm going to ask Andres.
Uh, for me, it's obvious that it's going to go to clubbing, go
Go
clubbing,
clubbing?
go clubbing,
Okay.
drink alcohol, drinking alcohol, and
Alcohol?
stay out late, especially Friday, Saturday night.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to like, let's say something like the opposite, because we can't deny that somehow that's like the common routine, right?
Yeah, but I'm not sure because in my generation, this kind of activities was the most popular. But
Where
for were the most popular.
when you say my generation, well, of course I don't want to be
Oh, okay.
intrusive. You sound
My
like you
friends.
were like 40 or something, but I don't think that you guys are more than 30, right?
No.
So you're still counting the group of young people, Andres, of course.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, of course. Stephanie, what about you? Do you agree with what Andres said, or maybe you have some activities to add? I'm talking about the third question again. Which activities are most popular with young people in your country?
I believe that going to the plaza to talk, drink, skate. I don't know.
The plaza? What do you mean by plaza, Sylvia?
Mm,
Stephanie, sorry.
like what is it?
Market?
Park?
Like a park?
I don't know.
You mean?
Like a
Yes,
market?
but
Like organic market or something like that?
there
Mm,
there aren't three. There are much three.
there
It's
aren't
a
trees?
yeah, I don't know, a plaza.
Like a park?
Ah,
The park seats.
you mean a square, you know? Okay, it's not plaza. As I think that I see your point, like, you know, a place that there aren't many trees. It's more like a
Yeah.
square.
Okay, okay.
Ah, okay. Well, actually, that is a different point of view. Stephanie, thank you very much. Well, guys, once again, I can assume somehow from your profiles that most of you or all of you are in your 20s. And if there is someone older than 30, of course, you let me know. Which activities do older people prefer? Would you chip in, Judy?
Stay.
Okay,
Maybe they prefer stay at home,
staying.
staying at home and cooking something special for your family or for your
Their
friends,
family. Their
their
family.
family
Okay.
or their
Mm,
friends, and watching a movie.
What's a movie? Mhm. Someone else wants, thank you, Judy, was going to give an opinion as well.
They rather watch TV in their houses, most like going out with maybe their friends, if they have, of course, because you know that old people don't usually have a lot of friends.
Well, the group reduces while years
Yes,
advance, I
yes,
dare to say. Okay. Something else to add for the last one? I don't remember who was going to share as well. Very good. Well, guys, thank you very much for sharing. As I told you before we started the activity, I don't want you to feel that I'm like interfering or that I want to be nosy about your personal life. That's not my intention at all. But well, that was like the idea of the questions that we have in there. We're going to move to the next part. You know that sometimes I take like the pictures that we have on the book to organize them a little bit. This is the next set of questions that we have after the question that you have already answered. I'm going to read the instruction for you. It says, look at the photos and read the photo captions and quotes, but do not read the full article. Please don't read the article yet. And of course, we're going to answer the questions. Let's have a look at the first picture that we have in here. Let's read this quotation that we can see from him. Christian, could you read this quotation?
Yes, the DJ sits in a Bentley in the middle of the dance floor.
Okay, let's have a look at the second quotation. Daniela Fernanda.
We threw little notes from our car window.
That's it. And the last one, Christian.
It's a bit like going clubbing with your parents.
That would be it. So there we have 3 people, and now we have 2 questions. Remember, for the moment, we're just having a look at the images and, of course, trying to get some ideas from the 3 quotations that we have in here. Where do the 3 people live? What do you think? Diana.
I think that they live in a big city, maybe.
Okay. Any other possible?
The second one also?
No, for the moment, the first one. Diana.
Okay. Okay, teacher. No, only I think that it's in a big city. No.
Okay. Something else that you would like to add, guys?
Filipino, Asian boy, Asian boy,
Asian?
Asian boy. Yeah, probably is Filipinas. No sé.
From the Philippines?
Philippines.
Okay, could be. Yeah, for the moment, as usual, we're just like predicting from the information that we have from the images. Harold, what do you think? Where do the 3 people live? Hi, Harold. Just by looking at the pictures, what do you think?
Maybe they live around in a flat and in the center of the city of maybe New York.
Okay, we don't know yet, of course. Let's have a look at the second one, Jennifer Jimena. Can you guess what they do or don't do on Saturday nights? What about the first guy, the first picture? Once again, we're just predicting from what we can see from the quotations, probably from the clothes that they're wearing. What can you guess they do or they don't do on Saturday nights?
Okay, I think that the first guy maybe like going out with his friends, maybe going dancing. And the second one, he seems like
prefers stay at home, maybe staying at home. And about the last one, it's like he prefers to spend time with his family.
Could be. Okay. Something different, maybe, John? John? And John left for a second, I hope. Jordan, what do you think?
I'm sorry, teacher, you need me?
Yeah, actually, I was asking you the second question.
I am sorry. I'm still having issues with my internet, and sometimes it cut off. I'm sorry.
It crashes, don't worry. So what do you think that they do on Saturday nights?
The first one is like maybe playing music in a big party. The second one is like more dating some girls. And the third one is like more maybe going with friends to a restaurant or to a cinema or something like that.
Okay, yeah, thank you very much. Well, guys, as usual, we are just predicting. Now we are actually going to move, to our book. Let me share again. Okay, let me zoom out a little bit so we can have a look at the activity easily. Okay, so these are the three, let's say, profiles or the three pictures plus the information based on what they actually do during their weekend nights. Well, specifically, we were talking about more like Saturday. You are going to be assigned, I'm trying to zoom in again, to go to the breakout rooms. Finally, you are going to read the article. The idea is that you're going to explain why the things below are important in each person's night out. We have like three different contexts. You're going to notice that we're talking about like very, well, from my perspective, of course, different ways to spend the night. And here we have BPT, Blink, a Bentley, Ghost Street, Jiaogu, sorry, Hassan talking about driving, mobile numbers, pieces of paper, a smart car, Ewen 70, the community hall, young and old people, a folk band. Make sure that while you read the three profiles, let's call them profiles, or the three descriptions of the activity that they usually do on Saturday night, let me put it again, you identify why these elements that we have in here are important. They are talking about all of them. So the idea that as a group, because it's a lot of information that you have, let's say, to analyze, once again, you have to make sure that you talk about all these elements. When we get back, the idea that we have a look at why the bling is important, why the number 70 is important, why the pieces of paper are important, because that information is presented on the three, let's say, profiles about the activity that they usually do on Saturday nights. Okay. Of course, you have the book. In this case, we're talking about page, well, all the images on the two pictures and the activity in particular, we're talking about 76 and 77. Okay. So guys, did you have any question? Okay. I would take the silence like we don't have questions. Okay, very good. I'm going to create the rooms. We would have some rooms of 4 participants, other rooms with 3 participants. But once again, as I was telling you, make sure that you, let's say, scan the information so you can actually find easily why these things are important. In total, you're going to have 12 minutes because you will be working in groups of 4 people. Make sure that you divide and conquer. Well, before we go, let me change here so you guys can share the screen while you're working in your groups. Okay, let's start. Welcome back. I hope, well, you're back. Well, I hope that you could find most of the information. Anyway, in case that one group probably didn't find it or just found part of it, the idea that you guys, as usual, of course, help each other. Remember the first part was to talk about, not that to talk about like to find in the article what these different words and letters and numbers were related to. Let's start with BPT, room number 1. Andres, John, and Mayra, and Judy. Andres, you are going to answer this question. What does those 3 letters stand for?
Okay, BPT, that means Beijing Party times, and it's an important time for them. Because in this moment, how this guy name? Yao and his friends are meet in this time.
Meet, okay.
Meet in this time. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that would be it. That is a good summary. Let's look at group number 2. Andrea, Luisa, Fernanda Paredes, Mayra Plata, and Gilbert. Andrea, what's blink?
Sorry, did you say my name?
Andrea Vaca, yes.
Club is the name of the club.
The
club. It's the club that they often go out.
That's it. Very good. Let's go with group number 3. Ana Maria B, Jennifer Jimena, and Silvia. Ana Maria, what does Ghost Street refer to? Ana Maria. Well, let's ask for help to another member of group number 3, Jennifer Jimena.
Yes, teacher, is a part of the street where the restaurants are open during all night.
That's it. Very good. Let's move now to the second, let's say, description or profile. We have Hassan. Yes? I heard like someone said teacher, no? Okay, that's okay. Group 4, we have Diana, Luisa Perez, and Stephanie. Diana, what does driving mean from his description?
Driving is what Hassan and his friends usually do on Saturday night.
Very good.
In Yosemite Street, in the center restaurant.
That's it. Perfect. Very good. Let's continue. What about mobile numbers? Group 5, Daniela Fernanda, Jordan, and Natalie. Daniela Fernanda.
Teacher, Hassan and his friend in their driving in a, ay, si no digo el otro, notes his mobile number and threw on the street like a joke.
Well, you know, actually, we can say that the 2 are connected, right? Mobile numbers and pieces of paper. Exactly. Because you are kind of suffering, okay, Daniela? So connect both of them to, let's say, give the complete idea.
Exactly. That is all.
Yeah.
A piece of paper, they note his mobile number and threw out on the street like a joke.
They throw it. Very good. Yeah, we can't separate mobile numbers from pieces of paper. Don't worry. Thank you. And group 6, Angelica, Brian, and Christian. Angelica, what about a smart car?
Okay. we're thinking that it's if guys was driving
Guys
rent, sorry, what?
Guys were driving.
Ah,
They
okay.
said was. Mhm.
Okay, sorry. Was drive. Ay, me confundí. Well, if guys was driving amazing and expensive car, maybe the girls was interested in read the piece of paper of the numbers. But we don't thinking if have other meaning, but we understand that.
I understand that. Yeah. Careful with the plural because you said again we with was, but I didn't want to interrupt your idea. But you know, guys, you were absolutely right. You know, like probably, well, usually or most like the idea on that part was that if men are actually driving, as you said, an expensive car, actually the girls are more interested in actually reading the piece of paper with the phone number if the car is expensive. That was like the idea on that part. Okay, let's go back to group number 1. In this case, Judy is going to answer the question what 70 is about.
It's about the inhabitants of the isle.
Isle?
Yes.
Isle.
Isles of 8.
Only 70, that's it. From group number 2, I want to ask Mayra Plata, what about community hall? Mayra.
Sorry, teacher, I thought that you were listening to me.
Don't worry. I was asking about what community hall means based on the context.
I think that is like community hall.
Community hall.
I think it's like people who connect and they are all friends and share the same interests.
That's like a very general answer, you know, but in the profile, they give us like extra details, you know, like what the community hall, let's say, is about. Let's put it like that. Let me ask from group number 3, Silvia Duran.
Old and young people meet at the community hall on her Saturday nights.
Exactly, like that is like the place where people go. That would be it. Thank you, Sylvia. Very good. What about young and old people? Stephanie from group number 4.
Wait. I believe that is the type of people that reunite in the community hall. Meet in the community hall.
Very good. Well,
like a description of the age.
Okay, very good. It looks like I interrupted you, like you're eating, sorry. I can't blame you, of course. Yes, based on the really like reduced number of people, well, that's the type of people that meet. And then we have the final one, which is a folk band. What could you tell us about that one, Jordan?
A folk band from the mainland performs at the community hall on Saturday nights, and people dance.
That's it. Pretty specific. Very good, guys. Well, I know that we had a lot of information to cover. That is why in this case, you were working in bigger groups. That's the intention. So I'm pretty sure that all of you got the opportunity to analyze information and also to decide which part, in this case, talking about the statements, talking about the number was related to the information that was being presented. Guys, did you do B? Did I tell you to answer part B?
No, teacher.
I didn't tell you, right? But I guess that we can somehow, because all of you read, it is not like you have to reread. That was like probably one of the advantages of having you guys working in groups. Talking about the first profile, how has nightlife changed in Beijing? From what you read, what do you remember? I would like to ask maybe one person from group number 6. If there is something that you remember from that part of the article.
The article says that now they have too many choices. There are too crowded now.
Okay, more choices. Something else? Like in the
respect the Beijing or about the person?
No, talking about Beijing in general. Like you said, Christian, like there are more choices. And
Yeah,
how
there are
was
more
it in the
choices.
past, right? They also talked about how it was in the past, right?
And normally the idea, the plan was just dinner.
And that would be it. Okay, very good. Let's look at the second question, which is about the second paragraph. Why was Hassan's friend's girlfriend angry? Maybe I would like to ask from group number 1. Which of you guys would like to answer this question after analyzing the whole profile, you know? I would say that there is a funny situation, but I guess that everybody has a different opinion. When you're not the victim, it's funny for you. Group number 1, so what do you think? Andres, John, Mayra, and Judy. Mayra Pinzon, just to clarify. Or maybe someone from another group?
Please.
Okay, okay.
And she was hungry because Hassan threw her mobile phone to another girls.
Well, Hassan throw his mobile phone, like the device?
No,
the object?
the piece of paper with write her mobile number.
His mobile number.
His mobile number.
Very good. That was the problem, you know? Like the girl was also in that card. She saw the paper and it was her boyfriend's number. That wouldn't be nice.
He was flirting.
He was flirting.
With
Yes, Lisa, absolutely. The guy was flirting. And the last one, how is Saturday night on X different from young and old people? I would like to ask someone from group number 2. What would be the difference? Because, well, we already read that only 70 people that, well, because of that, they go to exactly the same place. We may think that everything is similar, right? But it isn't. So which is one aspect that actually changes, you know? Group number 2, Andrea, Luisa, Mayra, and Gilbert.
The difference is that the older people go home around midnight, and the younger ones are still there the next morning.
Exactly. The younger ones stay a little bit later, while the other ones, well, as you already said, they leave at midnight.
In the nights when the fall band going to the meet.
Will you repeat?
This happened when the fall band go to the meet.
Goes to the meeting.
Yes.
Okay, well, that would be it. Very good. Well, guys, thank you very much. I know that this activity was quite demanding, as I was telling you at the beginning. You have already noticed that the texts are a little bit longer, that the analysis that we have to make, it's a little bit exhausting. And of course, I will always going to ask you, like, not only the question that we have in here, but also like your opinion, so we can expand a little bit on the information that we have already read. Okay, we're going to move now to, let's say, a speaking activity. But in this case, it's going to be divided into 3 different parts. Probably you have already noticed like the routine. I always use this image. It is called think, pair, share, because the idea that first you do it individually, then you share it with your group, and then you share it with the whole class. Here we have 3 questions. They are also presented on our book on page 77. And the questions are, what in this case we're talking about, we continue talking about nightlife. It says, what does each account tell you about life in that place? We're talking about the 3 profiles that we have already read. Whose night out sounds the most and least fun, and why? Notice that we're talking about the 2 points of view. The one that for you is like the most interesting, and the one that you consider is not like interesting at all. And the third one, is nightlife changing, oh my God, where you live, in what ways? So notice that the 2 first questions are more like about the articles or the profiles that we have already read. The third question is more from your perspective. Well, I think that everybody like lives, well, probably in this area in particular, but at the end of the day, we can say that the situation is pretty similar among the different municipalities that form like this metropolitan area, right? So we can talk about very general aspects, how the nightlife is changing here where we live and in which ways. I dare to say that it is changing, but of course, how we expand on that idea is going to be what you're going to do. As I told you at the beginning, the first instruction, actually, they're going to have 5 minutes to think of your ideas. The invitation, of course, is to take some notes. Probably you want to type, that's up to you. If you like to write it down, of course, that is your personal opinion. Then once again, I'm going to send you to breakout rooms, different breakout rooms to the previous ones. You will be working in groups of 3 participants. And on each group, you are going to have a role. You are going to be moderator, you're going to be note taker, and you're going to be the speaker. Just to clarify, of course, the speaker is the person who is going to then present the ideas collected. The note taker is the person who's going to be in charge, you know, of taking the notes and summarizing the information. And the moderator is the person that is going to be in charge also of making sure that all the information is being summarized and then presented. Guys, the idea that all of you participate, that is why you're going to have the roles. On each group, you are going to decide who is going to be the moderator, the note taker, and the speaker. That is going to be up to you, okay? Based on the fact that you have already collected information, this second part is going to be for 10 minutes. When we come back, you guys are going to share your screen, okay? The idea that, as I already told you, the speaker is going to socialize the ideas with the whole group. You guys, or the person who is going to be the speaker, is going to have up to 1 minute to present the ideas collected. I'm going to send you a link as usual. What did I do? So I have it here. Let me send it. So you are going to type, you know, the idea that was collected, but don't start writing yet, because first I have to tell you how the groups are going to be created, okay? Let me go back here to the instructions while I create the new groups. Do you have any questions, guys?
No, teacher. Teacher, but the link was sharing it like a photo. Now the link like
Like the usual link that I share with you is a different thing. Let me adjust it, I guess.
Here, I have a question.
Sure, tell me. I'm gonna send it again in the meantime.
In the document, we have to put the ideas individually or in the group?
The group ones. Now, like the summary that you collect as a group.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, that's an important question. Well, guys, so.
Teacher?
Yes, Angelica?
It's about the test with that will read it, or it's about the city where we live.
The first two questions, it's about what you read. The final question, it's about the city where you live. You know, I made a mistake. I'm going to, let's say, change the setting of the PowerPoint presentation because maybe some of you are going to start typing and this is not the moment to start typing. So I'm going to change it to lector. So for the moment, nobody can type anything. Let's start step by step. Again, I'm going to give you 5 minutes to answer the 3 questions individually. Okay, that is going to be the first part. And then we're going to move to the following part that it is going to be the group work. So I'm not going to interrupt you. Take some notes, have some ideas. I'm going to set up the timer. 5 minutes starting now. Remember, this first part is done individually. Okay, guys, time's up. Remember, this was like the first part where you answer the questions individually, like taking some notes, because now we're going to move to the next part. Now I'm actually going to change, let's say, the parameters, because the next part or the second part is where you're going to be working in groups. Remember that the idea that you're going to share the answers that you have of the 3 questions, and you're going to create one answer altogether that you're going to, let's say, present, or that you're going to type on your corresponding slide. When I send you to the presentations, to the slides that corresponds, you're going to go to the slide that belongs to the group that you are assigned to. So for example, in this case, in room 1, we're going to have Andres, Diana, and Mayra. So you guys go to slide number 1. So based on the room, that is the slide that you're going to choose. Of course, remember guys that the first thing to do is to type your names, just to clarify that part, okay? Any question? There are 7 groups. Well, actually I have fewer people. Maybe I have to create them again. But then it gets like 4 participants, and that is too much. Okay, guys. Remember that you're going to have 10 minutes in order to summarize the information. Then we come back to present the general conclusion that you got from your answers. Guys, questions?
No, teacher.
No, teacher.
Okay, let's start. Final activity of the night.
Teacher, I wasn't assigned to a group, or I haven't received any invitation. Yes, it's because I was connected on my computer, but well, my computer is not working properly, and I had to connect it on my cell phone, and I hope this device works, because it's so difficult not to be able to understand everything because of the connection. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. Okay, yeah, so I'm gonna send you to room 7, okay?
All right.
Okay. There it is. Brian, I sent you to group number 6. Okay, very good.
some problems with my internet. I was with Natalie Ardila.
Okay. Let's make the adjustment. Group. In room number 2, right?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, there you go. Well, guys, welcome back. Now we're going to move to the final part of our session. I was having a look at your answers. I'm sure that you're having like different discussions. Some of you have already finished and some of you are still, okay. Yeah, this slide doesn't have any participants. I'm going to say, what? So, well, I'm going to start with the groups that I see that have already finished. Hopefully the one that haven't just like need a couple of minutes, maybe to wrap up the idea that you guys have in mind. So let's have a look at group number 4. We have Andrea, Angelica, and Sylvia. So who is the speaker, ladies? Which one of you was chosen or decided to be the speaker?
Oh, teacher, 1 by 1 point.
Okay. Let's begin.
Me. Okay. In the first question, we think that it depends about the places of the countries. So, for example, in the city, maybe the culture is more party. For example, in Beijing, the Jones say that always you can find a party nights. And in the other case, for example, the last one guy say that it's more relaxing and it's more to share with your community. So it's in general or in summarize, it's depend of the country.
Okay. What about the next? I will give you like the feedback when you three finish. What about the second one?
Second one, we think that the funniest for us will be the fear because sounds like a good environment, like a party. So it could be fun. And the least for us is the second because it could be a little bit weird. That kind of activity is not usually in our country.
Okay.
For the third
one.
is nightlife changing. We think it is changing. People are now meeting more in their homes. They enjoy a good meal, some drinks, music, or the nightlife starts in a good restaurant, and then they go out for a few drinks or a club. But it all depends to the age. Younger people enjoy more the party, the drink, something more exciting.
Okay, Celia, thank you very much. Well, guys, ladies, just to keep in mind, depends on when we use the adjective, for example, when we refer to los jóvenes, the young people, only young is like the adjective. And the last guy or the last one, you know. And well, in summary, that was the idea. And that would be it. Well, ladies, thank you very much for your answers. Somehow, let's say that chipping in a little bit the last one, the way that I'd say let's say decide to spend time at night is changing. And I totally agree with the activity that you have proposed on your answer. Once again, ladies, thank you very much. Let me see who has already finished. Okay, this one is quite extensive. Group number 2, you already finished? Judy, Natalie, and Joely. Well.
Teacher, creo que están agregando algo más. O no sé, si me
Sí.
escuchan mis compañeras ahí.
That looks like. Yeah, I agree. Well, let's go to group number 5 that it looks like nobody's typing. Daniela, Stephanie, and Luisa. So, ladies, how did you decide to share the information?
Me.
One speaker?
Me, Daniela.
Okay, Daniela.
Well, about the first question, What does each account tell you about life in the place? The nightlife in each place is very different, and that depend of the number on inhabitants and the level of develop in each city. So for example, in some places are small and there are few people, so there are many options to go out at night or at the weekend. The first is more fun because Beijing is a bigger city than the other two, and there are many entertained options to do. About, bueno, ella is already respond. And for agree, the second story is most funny because restaurant and clubs are open 24/7 at week. And is nightlife changing where you live? In what ways? For us, it doesn't change much compared to Beijing. In Colombia, the things are more, only here, the things or the plan are more dangerous and the restaurant are closed at midnight. But it's the same because young people, when young, usually go dinner and then go to the dancing in a club or drinking for a beer and finally go to house.
Okay. Okay, then go to have dinner, go to drink something, then go home. It depends on, because it looks like we are using a little bit of Spanish. Okay, depende de, that's Spanish. But in English, let's say that the preposition that we use would be depends on. And you are absolutely right. You're talking about the level of development. Based on that, the type of, let's say, entertainment that we have on each city is different. And well, you're pointing out that different, let's say, situation compared to what it was already stated by group number 4. Now you're talking about the time that the restaurants have to close. And if I'm not mistaken, some weeks ago, they also extended the hours for the nightclubs, right? Now, like, they can, let's say, operate until 3 a.m. Am I right?
4, not?
4? I don't know. I don't go out anymore. Okay, I
But
don't know.
that was in the past. Now it's until 2 a.m.
But no, they extended it a little bit. It
No,
was
not
until
anymore.
2. No, not anymore.
No, I was in the
They
past.
changed it.
The
That was
last-
in the
yes.
past. Okay.
Yes, because Quadrapicha has
Para
like
play.
new Quadraplay. Yes, well, it's the same. Has new controls because a lot of people have their like fights. And that could be a little insecure. So now you can see around a lot of policemen. And the party end actually at 1:30. And at 2 a.m. anybody could be there.
So the solution is move Cuadrapicha.
Okay, that's for another discussion. Okay, thank you, ladies. Well, I didn't know that. Out of those days. Okay, group number 6, you are still typing. I'm going to move to group number 1. Andres, Mayra, and Diana, looks like you are not typing anymore. Did you finish already?
Yes, we finished.
Okay, what about you guys? Who's in charge?
We believe that for the first one, the life in Beijing could be a little bustling and noisy. The nocturnal life in the terrain is funnier and relaxing, and the kinds could be more casual. And in the island life is more familiar, peaceful, and quiet. And for the second one, we believe that the fun is not out for us is the presented in the first account because it's closer to our concept about fun. And the least fun story for us is the second one because their activities are extremely disrespectful and a little weird for us. Because we don't like the idea with the papers. and the telephone numbers.
Mhm.
And the nightlife in Bucaramanga includes hanging out with friends for delicious meals, and after that you can find great places for dance and drink delicious cocktails. It's similar to the Beijing nocturnal life, but the parties end early compared with this country. Before the pandemic, the parties could end at 4 a.m., but now we have new controls and ends earlier.
Okay, thank you very much, Mayra. Some aspects about the grammatical part, well, island, when we say Iceland, that would be the country, Islandia. The parties could end, well, this is what I'm gonna check tomorrow. Remember that if it is plural, in the case talking about parties, no, I mean, it was written correctly. It was about the pronunciation of Iceland. You said Iceland, that's Islandia, but island is Isla. Yeah, it is well written. I'm talking about the parties could end, but now we have new controls and end. That you also said that, but of course I'm going to check that as well tomorrow. Well, you have already explained the situation in Guadalajara and how the hours have changed again. Group number 1, thank you very much.
I don't go to many parties, okay? It was just
no general information because you read the newspapers. Yes,
no,
Mayra,
no,
of course.
I didn't hang out in 2 years.
Yeah, me neither. Wink, wink. Don't worry, Mayra. Okay, let's have a look at group number 6. It looks that you already finished, guys. Jennifer, Ana Maria, and Brian. Well, you discussed a lot. That's nice. Who's in charge?
Me, teacher.
Okay, Annette. So tell us.
For us, the first question for us, we consider that it's interesting because depending on the culture, the nightlife is different. In the first one, life is in Beijing is modern. There are many activities to do at night, so younger people usually get out with friends and adore going dancing. About Hassan, who lives in Tehran, we think that the city doesn't have enough places for the younger one. For that reason, this man and his friends had planned to throw out his phone numbers for girls in the street. Also, at Isle of Eve is a little place where only live native people, so they all know each other. For the second question, the most fun night out for us is in Beijing. For the last one, guy, we consider that it's not so boring because they are sharing time with people that they knew and feel comfortable. We also consider that the second story is a little bit weird compared with Colombia. Maybe in Colombia, we have other reaction, and for us is the less fun. The last one, the nightlife in Bucaramanga and near places has changed. For example, there aren't enough clubs in Lebrija compared to Bucaramanga. Also, the nightlife in Bucaramanga has changed after pandemic because in that time people went out and the discos opened until 5 a.m. and now only are open until 2 a.m. and less people go out at night.
Okay, another perspective. Thank you, Anna. And of course, group number 6, sorry. Yeah, different perspective. Once again, talking about let's say the curfew that now the nightclubs have. And well, that's undeniable. Well, we could consider that fewer people are actually going out, but probably there are more going out these days. Guys, thank you. Let's go. And we're about to finish group number 2. Judy, Natalie, and Joely. I get that now you have already finished.
Teacher, I start with the first one. Okay, what does each account tell you about life in that place? Life in every place is very different. They have their own culture and activities. In the last account, we think that it's strange. for the history of the only it's a little group of people, I think in my personal opinion, it's a little bit boring because you know every person who stays there. So I don't like that.
Okay.
And the second one, no sé si la hago o la hace mi compañera, que tenía mala conexión.
Well, I don't know how you decided in your group.
Sí, no, la hago yo. Whose night out sounds the most and least fun? Why? Most fun has a night is the least fun. We think it's a bad idea to write your mobile number on a piece of paper and throw into cars. It's weird and boring. I think it's embarrassing for the person who stays in his car and look that. And Yahoo night, it's the most fun. Enjoy with friends in a club and then go out to eat. It's also a good that restaurants are 24 hours are things that do not happen in our city. It's true. In our city, we only have nights to until 2 a.m. and it's all. For the last one, it's nightlife changing where you live in what ways? Nightlife in Bucaramanga has changed a lot and has diversified. An example is that in some places they play type of music depending on the day of the week. You can also find several places where there is live music and even mariachis. It's fun and different.
Absolutely, a very different scenario here in our little city. Group number 2, thank you very much. We're about to finish. I guess that group number 7 is already done. We have Christian, Luisa, and John.
I'm going to present everything.
Okay, Christian, thank you.
But for the first question, the activities of the Saturday nights are all about the type of the city. For example, if it's a big city like Beijing or the other one, I don't remember the name, the night is active, the restaurant do not close, and there are many activities to do. The activities on Saturday nights are all about the type of city. Okay, it was reading twice for some reason. Well, if the city is small, the activities are few, and the people don't usually do many activities late at night. I mean, they ended before midnight. And the second case, it's not the most fun, but at least it's the most healthy because it's sad in is with lesser people than, for example, Beijing.
Fewer people.
Everything's everyone try to make it enjoyable for everyone. So no matter the age, I mean, at least it's more healthy.
Okay.
It's not so annoying in a certain
It's
way.
healthier.
Sorry, it's healthier. And the third one, honestly, the only difference is that now the waiters go out the bar, club, or whatever, and offer you the products and the promotion that there's going to be in that place.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Yeah, different perspective. I really like how, guys, you are analyzing the final question. Now, in this case, talking about how clubs are trying to sell the products that they have. Once again, thank you. And well, I don't want to keep you more time than the expected. Jordan, Gilbert, and Mayra, group number 3. Who's in charge?
Okay, me teacher. So the first one question is that okay, in each account tell us about different things that they used to do in their own cities, but bueno, we describe and what each one what do in that city. That, for example, in Beijing, that the first account seems to be more active at night with a lot of activity to do. Even uh, the restaurants open all night. That is so it's now common like here in Colombia or for example here in Bucaramanga that midnight is most of these places closed. The second one account looks similar to the first one. It's a little bit noisy, I think, but I think that that kind of activity that the guy used to do is like a competition to who is better than the other one and who has more girls and something like that. And okay, uh, okay, and the last one that is the life in community. It's with a few people and doing activities, but it's more like more warmly because it's with a close person and it's not with you. You can meet other new people. Okay, the what whose night out sounds the most on the list fun? Okay, the most fun sounds to be in Beijing. Because of that a lot of things that they do and okay the less fun is the uh, the last one that is because it's not a lot of things to do and not a lot of places to go.
Okay.
Okay. Is nightlife changing where you live in nowadays? We think that okay, that it's not changing. We do the same all the time because there is not enough clothing to and okay, that's it.
Okay, thank you very much, group number 3. And one different perspective. All of you guys talked about a different point of view about the nightlife. Well, guys, I don't want to keep you like more time. Thank you. I know that you are really, really tired. Just make sure, guys, keep on working on the virtual campus. Remember that in the following days, I will give you more information about what the speaking will be about. And of course, this is part of the gradable component. Guys, have a wonderful night and see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye,
Thank you,
teacher.
teacher.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Good night,
Bye,
everybody.
teacher. Have a good night.